Hey guys, Master Cleanse. It's 2018. Welcome to Leadership for the Future Warrior Scholar Sage, episode number 73, where every single week we get here together, same time, same place, simultaneously on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to talk about and to explore the psychology first and foremost, because your psychology always drives your strategy. The way you think and feel always determines how you act. And I know that makes sense to you. So we explore the psychology first and then the strategies of how to level up and how to powerfully lead both your life and your business. And there's never been a time in world history, in my opinion, where we need leaders, true leaders, more so than today. And you may or may not agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, you're just wrong, okay? Because let's face leadership, true leadership is, and you might want to write this down, and I'm wanting to get into the content because I'm here to push some buttons today. What else is new? Because that's part of my mission, my purpose, my calling. But true leadership is the ability and the willingness to sacrifice, to pay the price for a cause far beyond your own personal comforts and needs. That's leadership. And so consequently, we need leaders because everybody wants the world to change. Everyone wants things to get better, but no one wants to pay the price. Everyone wants everyone else to pay the price. Are you with me on this? Now, couple of announcements, by the way, on Facebook. Weigh in down below as you always do and tell me who you are and where you're dialing in from. It always does my heart glad to see how this community is growing around the world. Also, just as a reminder, you can give me that big heart if this content is making a difference in your life. That's right down here on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. And you can also hit that share button. It's really easy to do on Facebook. And just share, help me, help you, help those you love and care about. On Twitter, you can we tweet. I got interjected with Elmer Fudd there for a second. You can retweet to your following and friends, and on Instagram, please help us grow this on Instagram as well, because Instagram, I love Instagram, and we are slowly building momentum on Instagram, not nearly what we have on Twitter or Facebook yet, so I need your help. And if this is making an impact on you, then please just help me, help you, help those that you love and care about. Now, also, we're going to be dark next week. There's not going to be a Leadership for the Future Warrior Scholar Sage session next week because we're having our live Leadership for the Future Mastermind experience here in Las Vegas, Nevada, actually Henderson, Nevada, starting Sunday. We're running Sunday through Thursday, 7 through 11. And we got people coming in from all over the world, from Finland, from the UK, from Canada, from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from, right here in Nevada as well. And they're all coming together to tap into the true mastermind. And I won't talk too much about that here today, but let me tell you something. It's not the true mastermind, as Napoleon Hill talked about all the way back in the 50s. It's not just a bunch of people getting together and throwing around ideas. The true mastermind is tapping into the infinite, the mastermind, something bigger, better, bolder, stronger, highly more intelligent, highly more creative, innovative, and disruptive than you and I could ever be. And so we're going to be live next week. What we will be doing is doing live video from the event from time to time, just to give you a little taste of what's there. And if you're interested in joining me, we have 3 additional events scheduled in 2018. Right? So they're filling up fast. We have one in April as the next one after this one, and it's already filling up. And so if you're interested on Facebook, you can click the link right above, fill out the application. It's by application only because I'm only allowing 10 people in because I want to be up close and personal, and I want to make sure you're the right fit and that you're really willing and ready to sacrifice for a cause greater and bigger than your own personal needs and comforts. You're really ready and willing to change your world and thereby change the world. So that's why we're doing application only. That's why it's only 10 people. And I really loved the last event we did. It was so off the chain that 60% of the people signed up to come back and work with me 3-4 more times in 2018. So click the link on Twitter here, on Facebook here, on Instagram. Until you help me go get us up with a bigger following on Instagram, you'll have to go to my bio to find the link until that time. So just jump over there and do that and fill out the application. Applying is no guarantee that you'll get to attend because we are being very selective. Dark next week. Now look, before I get into content, which you can tell I'm itching and ready to do, and to push some buttons here and to bring up some of your fears and insecurities and help you blast through, let me just do a quick shout out to those of you who shared last week. Barbie Mathis. I think that's a new name, isn't it, Barry? Barbie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing. I hope you're here today. Charlene Aoki. Charlene, I'm going to see you in April in leadership. Looking forward to that. Buckle your seatbelt, baby. Rob Genius, Paul Campbell, Anthony Rogers, Dave Curlew, Lana Monday, Sandy Arango, Tommy Allen Rains. Thank you for continuing to share. Tony Francis Smith, William Wallace, Tony Francis Smith. Coming all the way in from the UK to shoot fireballs from his arse and bolts of lightning from his eyes. Tony, see you in days, man. 3 days, 4 days, whatever the hell it is, but buckle your seatbelt, brother, because you think you're a badass. We're going to find out. Melinda Orbon, Gratitude 24/7, 365. Nora Jones, Sunstar Goal Setting. Baltazar Gomez, Mr. Gomez, I'll see you in 4 days as well. Susan Norkett, I'll see you in 4 days as well. You have a little idea of what you're in for coming up in a couple of days. And I will tell you, Tony, and the rest of you, because Baltazar and Susan already know this, but I have the trainer of many MMA fighters. You would know their name if I mentioned them. I have the trainer who runs the spring training for the LA Dodgers, and you know, he's coming back. I brought him in for the first Leadership of the Future Mastermind. He was such a big hit. He's coming back. He's coming back. And you know, let me just tell you, William Wallace, there can only be one. I've already told him your name, Tony Francis. He's gunning for you, bro, okay? So anyway, let's get into what we're here to do today. Look, it's 2018. I'm fired up, can you tell? Let me ask you this question. Now, 2018, are you going to live or are you going to merely exist? Because it's a big difference, big difference. You know, Carl Walenda, the fabulous, famous high wire expert and master, stated life is on the wire. All else is merely waiting. Now, you know, you may say, well, James, didn't Carl Walenda fall off the wire and die? Yes, he did. He fell off the wire. He gave his life doing what he was called to do. And he would not have had it any other way. Look, the fact is, life is meant to live. And it's meant to live boldly. Mere safety and security is not only bullshit, it's complete illusion. It's complete illusion. And that's not living, that's existing at best. Now look, the subtitle to this show, Leadership for the Future, is Warrior, Scholar, Sage. Now we've talked in past episodes about what each one of those mean. But here's the fact. It's 2018. It's time. It's time for you to more fully access your inner warrior. There's a reason why it's called Warrior, Scholar, Sage. It's time, because the first step to taking your power back and to being a true leader in the world is to first and foremost access your inner warrior. And what does that mean? You know, warriors don't go to battle knowing exactly what's going to happen. Am I right? Warriors go to battle willing to do whatever it takes. Period. You know, so many of us want to put everything in a little box, and we want to predict, and we want to control, we want to know, oh, what's going to happen if I do this, and what's going to happen if I do that, and what if this happened, and what if that happened. You're not ever going to put it in a box. And you know this is true. You can't go to battle knowing everything is going to happen. You go to battle in the arena of life and business, be willing to do whatever it takes. Look, one of my heroes, Alexander the Great, and all the Greeks, when they went to battle, they prayed to the god. Prior to going to battle, they prayed to the god Phobos. Now, Phobos was the god of fear. And they prayed to Phobos' fear before going to battle. Every single time. And they didn't pray to eradicate Phobos because they knew that's not possible. Phobos was God. What they prayed was for Phobos to work with them and to work for them and to work through them. Now I'm curious. Is there a metaphor here? Yes, I think there is. You're not going to eradicate fear. Anyone who tells you they live a fearless life is full of crap. No one lives a fearless life. What the master does, what the leader does, is access and utilize fear as fuel. Does that make sense to you? What the amateur does is let fear cause them to be stuck like a deer in the headlights, to stay in neutral, and to hug the shoreline of supposed safety and security, which is nothing more than illusion. It's 2018. Tick-tock. You know, I remember conducting an experiential exercise a few years ago at one of my 5-day events. And all of the participants were engaged in battle. All right? And it was quite elaborate how we had it all laid out. Now, of course, the battle was just imaginary. I mean, there was no real danger. The battles were like tug of war and you know, who could hold books out the longest on their palms with their arms out. You know, there was no real danger here, but the imagination is a powerful thing, right? Because in this battle, if they lost a battle against an opponent, they would, quote, die. Now, look, there are 5 primary fears that every human being has. You have them, I have them. 5 primary fears. And there's one overarching fear. And I'm not here to talk about the 5 primary fears today. That's Phobos' arena. All right? And that's not the purpose of today. If you want to know about the 5 primary fears, you can go to my website, jamesray.com, and I have an entire program called How to Understand, Overcome, and Utilize, keyword, fear, Phobos. But the overarching fear that we all have, the number one fear of the human species is the fear of death. Okay, here we go. Let me push some buttons, right? Because in the Western culture, we don't like to talk about that. We want to gloss over that. We want to suppress and deny that. Certainly don't want to embrace it. So we're playing this game. And if you lose the battle, you die. Imaginary. But the imagination is powerful. And we're pushing up against the number one fear. And what I started to notice is how people were playing the game. Now, there are only 2 primary ways you can play any game. You can go for it and be on the offense, or you can protect and be on the defense. Now, obviously, in most sports games and in life, you want to play both. But what I'm going to suggest to you is that you put about 95% of your attention and energy on the offense, on the offensive. In other words, the vision, the direction, the intention, the goal. And you put about 5% of your attention on current state of affairs and taking care of current state of affairs. Now, I'm a businessman, and if you're an entrepreneur, you are too, or a businesswoman, and you got to pay attention to current state of affairs, because if you don't pay attention to current state of affairs, you're just living in la-la land. Not smart. But what I'm going to submit to you is that the super achievers, the elite, the true leaders put about 95% of their attention on the vision and direction. It's 2018, damn it. How many moments ago was it January, what is today? The 4th of 2017. Seems like just a little bit ago, right? Doesn't it? How many minutes ago, how many yesterdays were you 10 years younger? I mean, right? TikTok. And as I looked at how all of these participants, and it was kind of a small event, like 55 people or so, compared to, what I used to do with thousands. And it was really apparent to me that the vast majority of the individuals were so busy attempting not to die. In other words, defending and protecting themselves, that they weren't living. They weren't even playing the game. What are you doing? There's no value in lying to yourself. There really isn't. Because what I find consistently with people all over the world, I don't care. I know we have people from all over, from many countries here today, and I don't care where you live, or what your culture is, or what your upbringing is, or what your gender is, or what your ethnicity is. You've been programmed into mediocrity. You've been programmed to hug the shoreline. You've been programmed to avoid death. And you're forgetting to live. Let me quote Melinda again. Life is on the wire. Everything else is just waiting. Fast forward to another event I was doing, and I was taking this group on this really great hike. And it was somewhat challenging, and I had several people on this hike. And there was one particular person who was just scared shitless. And her and her husband were following me, and I was hanging on these ledges, and I was saying, come on, we're going to jump over this little ledge, and we're going to shimmy through this hole, and we're going to drop down on the other side of the cliff, and we're going to find, these old ruins on the other side, and it's going to be really hot and really exciting. I mean, hot as in cool, right? And she's over there like all watered up and all afraid and hanging on, and she goes, I don't know, what if I fall, Obviously, the number one fear, Phobos, had her by the neck. And I said, look, and please put this in your notes, and please pay attention. Because one of my mentors told me years and years ago, for everything in life, you must pay attention. And to the degree you do not pay attention, you pay with pain. Wow. Right? So I said to her, look, the question is not, are you going to die? Because you know the answer to that. And so do I. Tick-tock. Physical life is finite. Physical life is finite. The question is, did you live? And the number one emotion that research tells us people experience on their last breath is regret. Because he didn't live. They look all the way back across their life and they go, oh my God, I had a chance in 2018. Oh my God, I could have done something great. Oh my God, I was so busy wanting to get days off and take vacation and do something easy and make a lot of money that I forgot to live and do something great. Please, seriously, please let that not be you. Life is meant to live. Are you with me on this? Look, your job is not to defeat Phobos. You can't. You can't. Your job is to embrace Phobos. To get him on your team. To utilize fear as fuel. And the greatest fear for me is not, am I going to physically die? Because I know that eventually that's going to happen. I mean, it was just a few days ago that I was 30. What the hell? Tick-tock. We're all going to be eventually beaten by time. That's the harsh reality that we try to ignore, we try to deny, we try to suppress. The biggest good story, aka excuse, that I hear consistently is, oh, well, I have time. No, you don't. Time has you. And time is going to swipe you off the playing field way before you're ready to get swiped off. How quickly did 2017 fly by? Did you live your dream? Did you fulfill your purpose? Did you use your gifts? If you did, congratulations, but research tells us that fully 71% of the people surveyed are unhappy, disengaged, and absolutely miserable in their daily work. Almost 3/4 of the population. So, if you lived your dreams, if you fulfilled your purpose, if you used your gifts, if you know why you're here and you're full on ready to contribute and bring it to the world, then congratulations. But the fact is that probably you didn't. Because about 3/4 of the population, about 75%, don't do it, according to a lot of research. And here's a fact, no matter how well you take care of yourself. Remember, we're exploring the three, in this whole series, which we've been into for a while now, we're exploring the three critical factors that you must understand and apply and utilize to thrive moving forward. And these also are the three biggest business opportunities according to the experts. And one of those, you'll recall, is to live a longer life. And we talked a lot about diet, nutrition, and exercise. And here's the bottom line, though. And let's just face the fact. No matter how well you take care of yourself, I take really good care of myself. I'm on my third day of a cleansing fast here today. I do it once a quarter. It's healthy to clean the body out. No matter how, but here's the bottom line. No matter how well you take care of yourself, no matter how much you exercise, no matter how much you rest your mind, no matter how much you do the best you can do, you're still going to step out and onward at some point. That's just a fact. And it gets really, really fast. It comes really, really fast. Trust me. If you don't know it yet, you will know it. One of my heroes, Stephen Jobs. I would submit to you that Jobs lived fully. I would submit to you that Jobs, from everything I've read about him, studied about him, not a lot of people understood him. Some people thought he was an asshole. But he was himself. He was authentic. And he stated this: remembering you're going to die one day is the very best way to escape the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Damn. Let me repeat that. because that's powerful. Remembering that you're going to die someday is the very best way of escaping the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Because here's the bottom line, you're going to lose it. You're going to leave it. No matter what you amass and acquire. Oh, look at my watch, and look at my bank account, and look at my boat, and look at my plane, and look at my house, and look at my wife, and look at my husband, and look at my kids. You're leaving them. That's just a fact. You know, and yes, those are all part of life. I'm not submitting that they aren't. You know, especially when I get into the arena of spouse and kids, people get a little sensitive. But the fact is, they ain't yours. They're not yours. And you're going to leave them. They have their own lives, just like you do. And so what we do is we get caught in the headlights thinking we have something to lose, and we got to hang on to it. But what Jobs is telling us is you're going to lose it anyway. When you die, it's going to end up with someone else. You never ever own anything. At best, you're a temporary custodian of something for the time period that you're here in this physical life. Are you with me on this? And so, you know, we get caught up in this, oh, what if I lose my job? What if I lose my bank account? What if I lose my savings? What if I lose, you know, my life? It's already lost. And in the meantime, you're forgetting to live. Damn, this is good. Damn, this is good. You know, if I'm the only one getting this, then it's worthwhile to be here. I hope you're dialed in with me. If you're with me, just type an all caps yes. If this is making an impact on you today, it's 2018, damn it. TikTok. Then type a big all caps yes with an exclamation point, and maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exclamation points. And I'll come back and I'll see them after the fact. Let's not get caught in the illusion of the mass mediocrity that you've got to, you know, I got this stuff, then I got to protect it. You got way more shit that you walk by every single day and you never even use it in your house. You don't need more stuff. What you need is more life. What you need is more fulfillment. What you need is more energy and vitality and experience. What you need is to take your power back. What you need is to step into your greatness. Because you see, you were born into greatness. And you've been conditioned into mediocrity. And if you're not careful, you'll sell your very soul for your stuff. Please don't. Please don't. You know, we've been talking through this series about disruption and change and how the market is changing rapidly. And so many of us want to resist change, but one of the 7 laws of the universe is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. That's a mouthful. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy basically and simply says that change is all there is, and it always has been and it always will be. There's no consistent. You've got to become comfortable with discomfort. Change is all there is. Attempting to stop it, to resist it, to avoid it, or to control it only brings frustration and failure. The only thing you can control is how you use it. Just as a reminder, this third strategy that we're exploring here today is how to live an authentically happy and fulfilling life in a world that's apparently chaotic, in a world of disruption and rapid change. And if you're going to find happiness and fulfillment, true authentic happiness, not this temporary dopamine spike of happiness that you get when you get a Christmas present, you know, recount what you got for Christmas real quick without thinking about it. You can't even remember. Most probably because you got a bunch more shit that you didn't even need. And it was like dopamine, spike. Oh, really nice, thank you. What's next? I'm curious. Is there a metaphor here? Yes, I think there is. You can't control the waves of life. The waves are going to come. You know, the East Coast, if you're on the East Coast, my heart and my prayers go out to you today, because I know you guys are going to get hit by this big bomb. And you know, if you're a Republican and a staunch Republican and way, way over on that wing, you know, climate change isn't real. Okay. Right. I digress. But my heart and prayers go out to you on the East Coast. But look, you know, I read just before I got in here, there's going to be some places on the East Coast that are colder than Mars when the storm hits. That's pretty damn intense. Hang tight, hunker down, buckle up, but realize that you have no control. None of us do. Control is an illusion. The only thing you can control is your own internal experience and representation of experiences that are occurring in the world and how you're going to utilize them. Does that make sense to you? You can't control the waves. And you know, if you're really, really honest with yourself, you don't want to control the waves. That's bullshit. Because if there were no waves, if there were no challenges, if there were no stretches, you'd be bored as hell. Am I right? I mean, you would never, ever watch a movie that didn't have a villain or some kind of antagonist. It'd be boring. It'd be Pleasantville. Remember that one? I remember several years ago, I went with a small group of people and we were floating down the Grand Canyon. And this was a great trip, you know, great trip. And the Grand Canyon has level 4, level 5 rapids. Those are the highest level. And man, they're scary. And man, when we were in those level 4, level 5 rapids, you're on your game, right? Because if you're not on your game and you're not totally present and totally awake, you can get knocked off and shattered against the rocks. And then, you know, you think, well, I'm tired of these rapids. I need some placid pools. And we got some placid pools from time to time. You know, we'd bust it through the rapids and we'd be all sweaty and scared and tired and exhausted. And then we get on placid pools. And it's like all calm and smooth. You put your feet up. Put the oar across your chest. Catch your breath. Oh, this is good. So peaceful. Look at the walls around me. Look at the canyon. Yeah, this is good. Okay. Just be in the now. It's time for some rapids, damn it. All right, because this is getting boring. Let's rock and roll. You know, the greatest way to be in the now is to be in the rapids. Because when you're in the placid pools, you're all up in your head, and you're all like, you know, it's okay for a minute. You don't want placid pools. You want big challenges. You want to be on the wire, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, and there's research after research from 150 countries and over 150,000 people around the world that prove time and time again, the time you're most fulfilled, the time that you're most enthusiastic, the time that you're most committed, the time that you're really living is when you're in the level 4s and 5s, when you're on the rapids, when you're going after something that pushes your envelope, that brings out the best within you. Because you see, taking a risk is not about taking a big chance. A risk is about giving yourself a big chance for greatness. You are most excited. Check your history. If you're honest, you're most excited when you're pushing the envelope of your own threshold. When you're pushing up against your own comfort zone into the realm of discomfort. when you're pushing the boundaries, that's what brings out the best in you. And all else is just waiting and merely existing. Please don't wish for an easier life. That's illusion. Don't wish for easy. That's amateurish. Wish instead for greater capacity and capability so that the once hard becomes easy. You get that? Don't wish for easy. Wish for greater capacity and strength and resourcefulness and resilience and innovation and creativity and grit so that the once hard becomes easy. And you can look back and go, damn, that used to really push my buttons. Damn, that used to be really hard. Now that's grade school compared to where I am. Because let me tell you something. You want to truly live, and you want to live fully. For the spirit within you wishes only for one thing. You are a spiritual being, and the spirit within you wishes for only one thing. 2018, only one thing in 2018 that Spirit wants for you is fuller expansion, experience, and expression. It wants you to become more. It wants you to expand, to grow, to develop. It wants you to experience and to push the boundaries. It wants you to express what you've experienced. Do you feel that? Sometimes it's this major pull. It's this push from within you, and I can't quite articulate it, James. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just feel like there's got to be more in life. Other times, like with Neo in the Matrix, he's caught in the Matrix. He knows he needs to get out of the Matrix. And he said he's got this nagging little splinter in the back of his mind. Sometimes that spirit within you shows up as this major push or this major pull to do something great because you're born into greatness. You've been conditioned into mediocrity. Other times it's like a nagging little splinter that won't let you sleep. It won't let you stop. It won't let you be at peace because there's something going, come on. You're more than this. Do you feel it? That feeling is the life force within you. It's the very life force within you. And you know what it's saying to you? It's saying, stand up. Step up. And take your power back. Risk, change, reinvention. Be adventurous. Tear down what you built. Rebuild. In this way only will you grow and truly live. Most aren't willing to do that. Like it or not, this is the only way. The only way. In this time of apparent chaos and major disruption, this Mach 10 market in which we live, that you can be truly, authentically happy and fulfilled, is to embrace what we're talking about here today. You can't control or stop the chaos. You can only learn how to utilize it for your own development, advancement, and growth, and how to create more order from within it. You get that? You can't control the chaos. You can only learn how to create more order from within it. Will you? Will you? Look, I hope this has been valuable for you here today. If it has, hit that share button. You, like me, know there's a lot of people in your tribe that need to hear this message right now. Hit that share button, please. Help me, help you, help those you love and care about. You know, if you're on Instagram, take a little effort, just a little effort, and go to my bio, okay? And regram and share, and on Twitter, just retweet. There's a link above my head. If these things are resonating with you, it's 2018, and it's time for you to take your power back. It's time for you to level up. It's time for you to become the leader that you were born and destined to be, and you would like me to help you, It'd be my honor and privilege. It really would. You can click the link above my head on Twitter and Facebook. You can go do a little effort on Instagram, go to the bio. And I hope I've given you some things to think about here today. More importantly, to act upon. Until we speak again, as always, be a leader. Live your purpose. And take your power back.